Hi everyone, Arinzeh with Onyx Property Consultants. Thanks for watching today. So today we are going to have a bit of a gripe session because I'm going to talk to you about some of my least favorite things about London. But since I gave you a top 10 list of my favorite things, I figured I could come up with 5 that might not be so great. And hey, if you're thinking about buying in London, you might as well know some of the things that you might just have to contend with. So, at number 5 is the water. Now, that might be surprising for me to say, but the water in London is really hard and has something to do with lime scale and stuff. But what it means is when you wash your dishes, over time, you're going to see the kind of this white filter on your dishes. You've got to use lime scale remover constantly to keep things really clean. People use water softeners because when they wash their hair, it's just not very kind to it. So you heard it here, the water in London is pretty hard and it does kind of make a difference in terms of how your skin might feel, so you might have to compensate for that. Anyway, number 4, London is a very expensive city. I'm not going to lie. It is tough to get on the housing ladder. We've definitely seen all the news reports about it. It is an expensive city. Transport's expensive. Housing is expensive. If you're moving from another city, you might not be used to paying things as a renter, such as council tax. Businesses have to pay business rates. So, the VAT tax of 20% is high. So it is an expensive city, but you get a lot for it. And one of the things I particularly love is that the food actually, I think, is not so expensive. In my neighborhood, one of the things about London, when you come out of the tube station, there'll be a high street and there's all these kind of little neighborhood shops and things like that. I actually think the bodegas offer really great value for the money. They've got fresh fruit, so you can pick up what you need. And I find that buying food that you can prepare is actually a great value, but not gonna lie, the other stuff is kind of expensive. Anyway, number 3 of what I don't like about London is that it is a very crowded city. I remember when a friend came to visit me years ago when I first moved here, she mentioned like, oh my God, London is such a crowded city. And I hadn't really thought about that, but there are definitely moments in prime central London when you can't walk at your own pace because the streets are so crowded. But again, one of the things I said in my video about one of the things that I love about London is get off the beaten path. So if one particular street is really hectic and overly crowded, walk, and go parallel to it or meander a little bit, you're going to inevitably have some really quiet streets to get you to where you need to go and get away from all the noise and bustle. What's also great is if you live in Zone 2 like I do, while you can access Zone 1, prime central London, really easily, you have a very peaceful neighborhood. It's got great energy, but it's definitely a lot calmer than some of the madness of London. And so with the crowds, it then leads to my number 2 least favorite thing, which is the traffic. London traffic can be horrendous, which is why it's really great that they have such a good transport system. So again, if you're relying on, say, taking a taxi or an Uber to get to an important meeting, you probably are better off jumping into the tube network and bypassing all of that, because if you're stuck in traffic, it can be a real nightmare. And a lot of times what the traffic might be associated with, there's a lot of building works that are going on in London. So London and the UK, which is a good thing, is constantly putting money back into the infrastructure. But it does mean a lot of inconveniences if you've got streets that are closed or sidewalks that are closed, or just, constant building construction going on around you. So that leads me to my number 1 least favorite thing about London, which is probably not a surprise, which is the weather. I kind of say the weather is a disaster, although some people really like it and say, you know what, it's very cool and moderate. They don't mind it. But coming over from America, I'm really very used to having full seasons. I don't mind a winter if I get a real summer. And London's band of temperature is a lot narrower. So we don't get a lot of snow, which is great for those who don't like it, like myself. But I would certainly love a little more warmth, or actually a lot more warmth in the summertime. But we do have really long summer days to enjoy. And then you've got Europe, so you can get over to Europe fairly easily if you're really craving real heat. You can get to Portugal or France really, or Spain really easily. So that's my top 5 list. Not so bad compared to the top 10 list that I've got. And if you want to find out what those are, do check out my YouTube channel and you can see those. But share with me what you might not love about London and perhaps how you kind of gotten around it, or if you've moved over, what might be something surprising that you weren't really used to having come over. But I look forward to talking to you soon. If you got any questions about London, do get in touch. That's Arinzeh with Onyx Property Consultants. Bye for now.